Fire, 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 fire. Okay. All right. The Insuffocation of Gen Z. All right, by Mr. Moon. Chat, are you ready? There's a lot of Gen Z in my chat, for sure.
Answer this one question. When was the last time you met someone naturally?
Never. No, I'm kidding. Forcibly through my old job. Yeah, I don't really talk to people like, and I'm not outgoing out of really. Yeah, naturally, like, not inside of work, not because of like through friends. Yeah. An introvert. Yeah, I would never talk to someone at a cafe or like say hello. I'd no, I'm not that kind of person. Absolutely not. And I don't touch grass enough.
No dating apps, not online, but a genuine interaction in the real world.
No.
I'm guessing for most of you it was quite a while ago. But if you're in Generation Z, it possibly has never even happened. And that's not an accident. Most people we see these days are cashiers, co-workers, people rushing around, delivery drivers,
not talking to you.
People we pass by, not people we get to know. Interactions are often just transactions. Before dating apps turned relationships into a marketplace, the stage was already set years ago. Just think about an average day. You work from home alone, your groceries get delivered, you tap your phone to pay, no words exchanged. Self-checkout at the shops, takeaway.
You're not even exchanging cash anymore. Yeah, I think cash was actually a little bit more like homey than just swiping your card. Yeah, like putting your change on the table and like people talk to you a little bit.
Dropped to your door by someone who doesn't make eye contact or maybe doesn't even speak the same language as you. It's so easy to go days without meaningful human interaction. Most interactions you do have are transactional unless you're one of the lucky few who finds a club, society, or just something to connect with people. And even then, it's probably shoved into a small corner of your routine. We live in a touchless society, and like anything, if you don't use it, you lose it. Intimacy, sex, and love are just no different. And unlimited—
What if we just evolve into like amoebas? Like we just don't interact with people. In like 1,000 years, we just don't.
access to adult content
Wireless
really
sex,
capitalized on this moment. You just click, consume, and wrap things up, remove your sexual desire, and move on with your day. Super easy and truly the simplest exchange for pleasure imaginable, really. But it's also shallow, takes away your drive, it's temporary satisfaction with diminishing returns. And like any addiction, you merely fill the gaps without addressing the root causes. And the brain is adapted to all of this. Dating apps started with a promise to breach a gap that most of their founders and investors had started. I mean, get this one of the Tinder CEOs left in 2022 and immediately launched Mino, an AI chatbot to fight loneliness.
They create a problem and then they sell you the solution to the problem. I mean, that's what businesses do. It's smart, but it's horrible in retrospective. Yeah.
There's now a thriving loneliness economy that Silicon Valley talks about all the time. There are even venture capital companies that focus exclusively on this. We made a video about the entire loneliness economy before, as it's just the perfect vector for exploitation. Sell people the solution to the problem you helped create. It's the oldest trick in the book, but the impacts are totally new to us. And that's why they're doing so much damage. We're even inventing new language to deal with this. Remember that cringily soulless word "me cute" that people started using years ago?
Fuck no. Who the fuck uses this shit? None of my audience. I don't use this shit. I mean, maybe some people do, but like I would say the majority of us don't use this shit. The fuck? What is this? I have no idea. I have no idea.
It popped up on social media as a way to describe meeting someone that you exchange numbers with for a date. For example, at a coffee shop or a bookshop when looking for the same book. Just think about the fact that we actually developed a new word for the
a humorous or interesting situation in which two people meet that leads into developing a romantic relationship to each other. Why have I not heard of this word? Am I that much of a loser? What?
Crazy phenomenon of just meeting someone organically. It should have set off—
This must be a normie thing, because I don't know. Is this an ad? No, I think he's just bringing up an example. It's doublespeak? No, I understand meet cute, but like, I've never heard of this. Maybe I'm not normie enough.
alarm bells, right? It was an early sign that society was changing in a way that made meeting people in real life the exception and not the rule. It's no coincidence that the word started being used a lot around 2015, the same time dating apps blew up. And in the last decade,
I used Tinder one time when I was in college. And it was a guy that was like, I opened it, we matched, and he asked me what my bra size was, and I unmatched him and I uninstalled it immediately. And again, by the way, not a void moment, I just never used it again. Yeah, like, and again, I don't fucking hate men because of that, like these stupid women that have one bad experience and they freak the fuck out. Like, I was just fucking horny. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I'm already really shy. Strong opening maneuver. It was like 2 or 3 like messages apart, and then he's like, "Yo, what's your bra size?" And I was like, "Okay, I don't know. I can't answer this." I didn't freak out at him. I just uninstalled. I didn't say anything.
Decline to the point where the majority of Generation Z today just don't know or really have any way to meet
It's whatever, I don't care.
50% of men aged 18 to 24 have never approached a woman in person in their life. And like even higher percentage, 18 to 30, haven't approached a woman in the last year.
In recent years, third spaces, meaning not your home, school, workplace, have just vanished. Think about the place that you grew up as an example. Pubs, bars, libraries, high street shops. How many are actually left today? And if any...
Oh, malls are completely dead. I went to a mall the other day. Well, not the other day, but like a couple weekends ago. And I bought some fishing gear nearby. And I was like, man, where are everyone? Where are the people? Yeah, I think malls used to be peak. When I was a kid, I didn't have any money. Like, nobody fucking had money when they were a child, like, apart from their allowance. But you would never spend it on, like, I don't know, maybe food or something every once in a while. I remember I would just spend hours walking around. Third spaces are a myth. Yeah, they've completely died. I think Grimmy talked about this too on Twitter. She's like, where are the watering holes? Yeah, 60% of the mall is shuttered. There's no people walking around. I remember when I would go to the mall as a kid, but just by myself or like with friends or something or schoolmates. It's so crowded. Now it's like, god damn, like you're looking around, you're like, where are the fucking people?
How busy
malls are declining even then, but they're just dead. Yeah, I would say like, yeah, I think COVID definitely just did a fucking number on them. They were already dying.
Are they? Since COVID, we just shuttle ourselves from home to work to the gym to the supermarket and home. You don't really just go to the village markets. There is no real town, square, or hall. You're not really bumping into anyone. Even a bit of small talk with someone at the bus stop just feels weird and awkward.
Yeah, it fucking does. It does. I remember when I would go to school and I'd take the bus and people tried to small talk, and I thought that was fine, but like, now I feel like if someone talked to me, I'd be like, what the fuck? Okay, I mean, I'll be nice. I'm not gonna like ignore you. I'm not gonna be mean, but it's like, what do you want from me?
Eye contact with someone on public transport will get you a look that leaves you wondering if you're insane.
Maybe. So much of what makes somebody good at dating is different now than it was 50 years ago.
You can see it in the way coffee shops have changed. Almost every cafe is bland, empty, just minimalist.
And it's not comfy anymore. I actually totally agree with this. When I was in school and, oh my god, it was so funny. Back when Starbucks still had a faux homey feel, now Starbucks is extremely sterile. The places where you sit at aren't even comfy anymore. It used to look like this, like Starbucks even though it was a corporate thing from the get-go, it had like a kind of like almost like a hipster feel to it. Yeah, and now it looks like this, and it's like these uncomfortable plastic chairs and like wooden plastic chairs. Cafes are designed for you to not stay there and linger anymore. Yeah, I remember there was a friend of mine that used to go to like Denny's or something or IHOP, and they used to just sit there and order like $1 coffee. Now they kick you out for that shit. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you'd go to study as like, I don't know, like a 16 to 18-year-old, and they would go there and study there for hours, and now they kick them out even if you spend money. They're like, oh, you can't have like infinite coffee here. Well, yeah, you're taking up space. It's so cringe. It used to just be about, like, hanging out and, like, I don't know, looking at people. I actually, contrary to popular belief, as an introvert, I really, really enjoy listening to people. It's like one of the things that fills up my social battery, and I really, really enjoy it. Not so much that I'm shy. I just like listening to people cracking jokes and stuff, and I might chime in. But I also really enjoy watching people do stuff. And I actually remember when I was a kid, and I think I was walking to my mom's old workplace, and there was a Chinese girl and a Chinese boy talking in Chinese, and I didn't understand what was happening. But I was just sitting there waiting for my mom to pick me up. And I'll remember to this day, they had a sequence of like getting into a fight, yelling at each other, and then she smacks him with her bag, and then he's like apologetic, and then they made up, kiss, and then they left. And I'll never forget that. I was like, damn, like I just watched like a 5-minute fight basically unfold. And I really liked it because it made me feel like the world around me is alive. Yeah, and I just sat there and I was like, oh, it makes me feel nice. That was fun. Chinese soap opera. Yeah, this was in New Zealand. I remember this.
Empty, just minimalist.
Lurk
Almost as if
maxing?
they're
Yeah,
designed
kinda
purely
was.
as a conveyor
Yeah.
belt of coffees and customers.
Exactly.
Getting us in and out as quickly as possible to extract
To
the
maximize your fucking profit. Min-maxing your balls. Draining your balls. You don't get to like interact with people. People are just in their cars or they go in and go out. It sucks.
most amount of money they can. But can you remember the time when a stereotypical cafe was like this?
Yes! Yes! I mean, maybe not like this, but because this is a little bit, I don't know, exaggerated. But yeah, like people hanging out, talking.
With big sofas, comfy chairs, bringing people together to talk, and
Yeah.
people just
Now they
walking
just
up to
wanna
someone
pump
to
you
say
out and
something
in and
without
out.
it being creepy. The show Friends was based on just reality in the 90s, and it's all
Whoa,
part
the
of a much
90s.
wider pattern,
All right, boomer.
one that's seemingly threatening humanity.
That this is actually a potentially existential crisis.
Even How I Met Your Mother was set in a bar where a bunch of friends just go there and then they have like antics or they see people talking in a bar or like things unfold in a bar. That shit does, like, I feel like that just doesn't fucking happen. Maybe like in some places, obviously, but I feel like it's dying out.
really do meet the qualification
Cheers.
of an
I
endangered
didn't watch
species.
that. I
Because
think my
meeting
dad watched
people
that
and
stuff.
building relationships is really the most important thing
Cheers.
for
Is that
human
military
survival.
show?
It's often the key indicator in determining your lifespan. It's
Oh,
how we
yeah.
have replacement rates in just the population.
Oh, yeah.
But with this last decade and the disappearance of so many communal spaces where our parents and grandparents had opportunities to randomly meet new people, mixed with
Yeah.
dating apps, has meant we're seeing a gap try
I totally envy people that are able to talk with people and do small talk. I get so terrified even like imagining the prospect of it, and I think I'm a product of like that socialness dying. And I think Gen Z, like in general, maybe like early millennial, late millennial to like late Gen Z and below, I think that like, yeah, I would die. I mean, again, I don't know how. And I feel like that's not me. There's something wrong with me. It's more like the socialness that I didn't really get to experience. And I feel like people don't understand that. They're like, oh, well, Gen Z is so like high anxiety. I'm like, yeah, because you fucking killed their experience. Yeah, it's easier than I always use 3 topics. I don't know how to do that. It's because of RuneScape scamming. What?
to be filled that wasn't a natural
It feels
one.
fake.
This is
Yeah,
a void
but
created by
okay, hold on. I totally get what you're saying. I don't mind small talk if I was good at it. But I can't get good at it because I don't get enough interaction. And the only way you can really get a lot of practice in it right now is if you either have a job or you had a lot of practice when you were growing up. Say, I don't know, maybe you lived in Europe where this stuff still kind of exists. You talk to us, guys don't compare me reading chat to like real life experiences where you have to look someone in the eye. That's so fucking cringe. Maybe you're joking, but like I'm just saying. Just pretend you're talking to... No, it doesn't count. You guys are not talking to me and I'm not talking to you like face to face. It's not the same. It's very different. I can't look you in the eye. Like, you can look me in the eye, but like it's not contact. Like, I don't know.
by the same economic forces that
exist.
hollowed
I mean,
out
you
our
guys
third
are.
spaces, chains, and corporate landlords. The
Yep.
same forces that funded these apps promising to replace what was
Tinder,
destroyed. And dating
yes,
apps didn't
look me
discover
in
a
the
gap in the
eye.
market, one was just torn open and then monetized.
Yes.
But it was a lie. that too was all about getting your money. Think about it, the whole idea of a dating app as a viable business is a paradox. If they actually help people into relationships, they would clearly lose business.
Yeah.
One good match is 2 lost customers, so instead they design the apps to fail, and in doing so keep us hooked on using them.
Oh yeah, it's like Instagram and Twitter too. Yeah, Twitter has an algorithm where it shows you things that make you angry or upset and make you tempted to comment. It's the same psychology. Yeah.
And in
For
turn,
sure.
what better way to keep an active user base than by having relationships designed to be short-term? This is your capacity to fall in love, to build a family, to find meaning. All your data, all your most vulnerable desires is just slowly converted into swipes and push notifications so someone else can hit their quarterly growth targets. Your
Quarterly
relationship is
growth
designed to
target,
not be
ooh.
long-term. It's why men make up 75% of Tinder users and women just 25%.
Yeah, 25% of them, and then that fraction is also bots. Like, oh no, bro. Yeah, hey, do you want to look at my OF?
Interestingly enough, the co-founder of the dating site OkCupid wrote a book revealing what actually happens behind the scenes of dating apps. Women, as you'd expect, receive an
That's an
average
WoW
of 4 to 5
expansion.
messages a week, which even that seems unlikely to be this low. 90% of men received an average of 0 messages. Only at the extreme end of the attractiveness scale do the best looking men receive around 1 to 2 messages.
That's that low? Even if you're like a 9 out of 10, that's crazy.
But there's also a lot of men who are relying on dating apps who are never going to get the matches that they desire, either because they are short or because they are bald.
So, as many of us already know, if you're not in the top 10%, there's really no point in using them. It's something that's called mate suppression in practice, and we'll get onto that more soon.
And the reality is, for 95% of guys, online and dating apps aren't going to be a fruitful place for them to meet.
My brother, who's older than me, back like probably I want to say 10 years ago, he used Tinder, and he's under 6 foot. He's like 5'7" or 5'8", I forget. He's a bit taller than me, and he got so much shit from girls, and like they would not like even give him the time of day, even though he's like a buff, fit man. Like, he's just below average height for a dude, or he's not perfect fucking 6 foot dude. It didn't matter, you know.
Women.
But what we're seeing right now is that
And that's considered short. For all the short kings, that's like on the higher end of the short kings, yeah.
Generation Z's entire prospect of finding love is based
crazy.
on the ELO rating system, a
ELO.
numerical method developed to rank
League of
players in games like
Legends.
chess. A player's score determines how strong or weak they are in relation to others. So your ability to find love is seemingly literally being run through the same maths we use to decide who's good at chess or League of Legends. It's why
Jesus Christ. I'm diamond in Tinder.
whenever you
Ranked
join these
jerk
apps, you get
mates.
tons of matches, then suddenly they just fade away. You'll be told this is a personal failure, but oftentimes it's not. It's just the platform sorting
Yeah, you need to get more swipes so you can get more chances. It's so predatory.
you to the bottom unless
So
you pay a ton
evil.
of money. And this created a dangerous dynamic that has now permeated the world of dating. One where women select the same group of the most attractive men who have almost exclusive access to women, who then become less
Lord,
interested in
man.
lots of these girls because they are then seen as too easy. The effect of this is that dating is seemingly a low trust marketplace, as the entire way to attract is seemingly detachment and not through connection. It's
And
always
it's also from first appearances. Again, you always say like, oh, there's love stories and people saying like, oh, I met your dad at like, I don't know, fucking the bar, or I met him through school at like a get together, and I didn't think he was like the most attractive guy, but he made me laugh so fucking hard. Like, that shit doesn't fucking happen nowadays. Pay for Tinder Gold. Yeah, Tinder Platinum is like $500 a month or something. It's ridiculous.
a contest of who cares the least, who can take the longest to message back, who's more aloof, disinterested, and who holds the power in the struggle to not care about the other. In other words, it's
Men
a
are the
game
game.
where almost everyone is bound to lose. You can now see it on reality TV with game shows where heartbreak is entertainment. But what's the message we're supposed to get from this?
Movies!
Romance isn't sacred, it's just a contest, which all leads to the loneliness epidemic, and this one's hitting the youngest the hardest. But it's not just dating. Our whole modern society is stacked against any of us meeting someone, getting married, or even having children. And the consequences of this will change the world as we know it. Because there's something else catching up with us. Our bodies are starting to fail and lose the capacity to produce children at all. You know what
the microplastics. I was literally about to say that.
they found recently? Microplastics in human testicles. Human testicles contain nearly 3 times as much plastic as dog testicles.
Oh my god.
We're literally marinating.
Dogs eat plastic too, so like we're even worse. Dude, my dog chewed out my mouth guard. I was so fucking pissed.
Our reproductive organs in synthetic polymers. It's one of the many explanations as to why male sperm counts have dropped by more than 40% since 1970.
So what do you do? Do you have to get like a magnet that like gets the plastic out of your balls? What do? Do you just die?
Average sperm count could even hit near 0 at the current trajectory.
What?
Even if a situation that extreme doesn't transpire, there are plenty of other things to worry about, like the forever chemicals in non-stick pans and waterproof jackets, BPA in your water
What? I can't do. I'm just gonna die.
bottles, all the nasty chemicals in your shampoo. I mean, just the list goes on.
Oh
Even
my
simple
God.
stuff
I'm
like
gonna
drinking
die.
hot coffee out of plastic takeaway cups.
Oh my
we
God,
just
we're
live in a world
cooked.
now saturated with endocrine disruptors. And surprise, surprise, our endocrine systems are getting
disruptors.
disrupted by all of this garbage we're pumping into our bodies daily. But even if
What if that kind of, I don't know if this is true or not, I'm just like hypothetically thinking about it, but what if that makes you, like the lower sperm count is linked to like endocrine disruption and suppressing. So if your testosterone and things that get you horny, that desensitizes and lowers your libido, so you need to be more gooned out in order to get that same satisfaction, as opposed to someone from the 1960s who looks at a half-naked woman and he instantly wants to bang her. Like, now we're so desensitized, so like that's like increasing and increasing and increasing over time, where you need more stimulation. Still doing too easily. I don't know. I'm not a dude. I'm just throwing it out there. So we're dopamine related? Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm just thinking.
you've somehow avoided the chemical assault, even if your fertility is fine,
We'll
there's
just
another
evolve?
huge problem.
Well, okay, hold on. This chat is interesting. We will just evolve, since the only people we'll be able to reproduce will be the ones with high resistance to microplastics. The problem with that is that evolving requires like at least like thousands of years to create. That's scary. Like we don't evolve like at the snap of our fingers. Like that takes a long time. Yeah. Like, yeah, sure, we've evolved from like, say, like 500 years ago, but like it takes a long time.
Vying against us. How many of your friends between the ages of 18 and 30 have kids?
days.
1, 2,
All right,
none until
Superman.
this year or last. Is anyone planning to have kids? How about those who said they don't even
I used to, when I was a kid walking around school, all my dumbass teachers that I had that were girls, they would be pregnant all the time. Now I walk around and all these girls are not pregnant. You'd go out on the street, you'd at least see one pregnant woman every once in a while. I can't even remember the last time I saw a pregnant woman outside of my old work. I feel like it just doesn't happen that often. Isn't that crazy? Like, chat, like, be honest. If you go outside and you, like, not one of you shut-ins or something, not that I'm judging, but, like, say you go outside fairly often, do you notice that there's been a decrease on, like, pregnant women? Like, you don't see a woman with a pregnant belly? I don't see them that often anymore. Like, genuinely, when I was growing up, I'd notice it. Because they all fat now, you can't tell? No, you can tell. You can tell when it's a fat, pregnant woman. Yeah, I feel like I just don't see them. Like, when I go to work or school, I see a lot of mothers. I think that's a little bit biased because you're at a school and you're assuming that they're having kids and they're probably popping out kids. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I used to see them out and about a lot more often.
want kids? We just push everything later and later back.
That
Education,
is
work,
biased. I
financial
don't know.
stability, and for the middle classes
See a lot of
especially,
fatties? Yeah, you're
that
American,
pushes
just
back
like
having
me.
a family. Because you only have a family when it's really sensible to, right? That's just the middle class value. Rich people don't worry, and poorer people don't worry. But nothing changes our biological clock when it comes to fertility.
Yeah, you can't.
Women over
You can't fucking fight it, dude.
35 are considered advanced maternal age, and honestly 35 is starting to look young to have kids for millions of people around the world.
Oh, yeah,
however,
for sure.
at 35, miscarriage rates nearly double. The chance of chromosomal abnormalities skyrockets. Down syndrome risk goes from something like 1 in 1,250 at 25 to 1 in 100 at 40.
Wow, that is an insane increase in just 15 years.
And it's not just mothers, older fathers contribute too. Men over 45 show increased risk for autism, schizophrenia, even stillbirth in their partners.
Wow.
Having kids into the 40s, 50s, and way higher for men at least is now becoming super common. Every year you wait, you're rolling dice with higher and higher stakes, but what else do you do? Shrug your shoulders and say it's too late and just plummet towards old age without the family you ever wanted and live an unsatisfying life. Well, if you don't want that, when natural conception fails, you can only turn to IVF. This is often the modern solution, except a single...
It's so fucking expensive. I remember my brother was talking to me about it with his wife. They were talking about doing it because they were having trouble, and it's so expensive. It's a little bit if you go overseas, but in America, it's insanely expensive. It's not an option for most people. That's why I think it's always really retarded when women are like saying shit like, "Oh, I'll just do IVF if I can't get pregnant." I'm like, you just have like $15,000 to fucking cough up on average, and that's like one procedure. It's not like it's like $20K per session. It's not like a lump sum of like, oh, we'll give you $15K and then we'll keep trying until you get it. It's literally like, it's if it works type shit.
Cycle costs $12,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, each cycle of the treatment. Yeah, so my brother was talking about it. He's like, dude, it's so expensive. And even overseas, it's still like maybe half of that.
Add medications, there's another $5,000. And
crazy.
Most people need...
Oh, and you know the meds make you super duper angry because they pump you full of estrogen. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah, it fucks you up. Like, maybe not in a bad way, but like it's not healthy for you to get dumped in estrogen because they want you to, conceive a baby. It's not good for you.
Multiple cycles, so you're looking at around 30,000 to 50,000 minimum, often much more. And this leads down a dark path where we're forced to engineer more of the process of just having kids. Genetic testing in the womb. Testing for Down syndrome is one thing, but some companies will now screen for height and IQ. It's an ethical black hole on every front for men and women. Women are the childbearers, they shoulder a lot of the risk here, and male dating culture doesn't think about this enough because everyone is turning against each other. If you've seen our video on population collapse, you'll know that fertility rates are just collapsing. Countries like the USA and the UK are seeing the lowest childbirth numbers in their histories. It's not just a stat, it's millions of people who always imagined they'd have a partner and family one day, now quietly aging.
I'm 40 and single and I hate it. Being single in your 40s be like...
out to that possibility. Family lines ending not because people don't want love, but
I mean, like, some people just think like there's conspiracy theories. There's people who think this is real. I'm a bit up in the air because I try to be as logical as possible and think like, yeah, maybe there's some truth to it that they're trying to like the elites, like there's too many people to feed and there's not enough houses to go around that they're trying to call everyone and stop them from having babies. But I also think there's like a inadvertent, almost like organic reaction because of the internet, and then like, all these places are dying out, people aren't meeting people. Like there's a complete like, I don't know, it's like a bit of both. Like it could be induced, but it also could be natural factors that are doing this because of the internet being around and like people fucking getting fucked over on mortgages and shit.
Because our environment makes acting on that desire
maybe it's
impossible.
Encouraged.
Ask yourself, even if you did meet the right person, what would stop you from having children? Probably not enough money. No chance of being able to buy a house anytime soon. Cost of living is probably too high on
It's a little weird how it is in the US and you have this problem in certain places in the world. I'm not gonna get into politics, but the US and Europe fund those certain places in the world, aka Africa. They pump them full of money, and then, they have enough food to pump out babies. That's part of the fucking reason. India doesn't really have that problem. They're popping them out like crazy.
city with food, bills, and transport. The cost of childcare is more than your current salary. There are just no good schools in your area or no school places in area.
Oh, this is a problem I remember I was talking to with my coworkers, like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. It's probably even worse now, but I remember a lot of them said things like, oh, I have this job because I need to be able to pay the childcare every month, and all of my money that I make from this job while my husband is working goes into childcare. And then I kind of scratch my head. I obviously don't say this out loud because I'm a pretty polite person, but I scratch my head and think to myself, like, so why don't you just stay at home to take care of the children and not have to make money to pay for the childcare? Like, you're basically like, you're zeroing it out. Like, maybe you make a couple extra $100, but like, is it worth it? Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Feel like this is overhyped. Got 2 nieces, both with 5 kids, making it work, and they're not rich. No, you can say that, but then you could say it's anecdotal and be like, oh, well, look, I don't have this problem. But if you look at the statistics, like, can you really deny it?
Your current salary. There are just no good schools in your area or no school places in areas with good schools. Or even just finding a wife that you can trust won't divorce you and take half of your money.
Yeah, Bill Gates got divorced. She got $29 billion. Holy crap, man.
It's probably all of the above. It's not just an economic problem.
Even the rich aren't immune to it. That's kind of just funny to me.
Based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all the stuff we need, like love and marriage and family, are just the basics. It's the same importance in life as having food, water, a roof over our heads. The funny thing is that the way this hierarchy was sold to us in the 20th century made it sound like family came after you'd finally self-actualized. You've nailed the career, the money, the personal growth, now for a family.
Oh, yeah. My parents kind of drilled that into me and my fucking brother, dude. Yeah. Yeah, they were like, yeah, go to school, and then, like, you have to settle down after you're in school. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
For most people, that self-actualization replaced family altogether.
Smug falling for propaganda in real time. This is all doomer crap. Jesus Christ, man. I'm not fucking falling for doomer crap. It's literally reality. Go outside and fucking talk to people your age. I understand this is sensationalism, and obviously it's a video that's made for, like, keeping people's attention, but there is a grain of truth to it. If you actually go outside and talk to people, they're fucked. I know regular people who are extremely poor. I talk to poor people. Like, people that were in my position. Like, I was in the same position 5 years ago. I am very thankful that I have a very good source of income through my Twitch and my YouTube, and I get to do whatever the fuck I want. But, like, at the time, I talked to people who were extremely poor, and they would literally buy credit card groceries and then go on to the next credit card when they run out of credit on that one. And it's just an infinite cycle. It's very common. I'm sorry for being poor. It's not your fault. I'm just saying. I was in the very same position.
There was always one more phase of working myself first, so we ended up with a whole culture optimized for individual self-maximization, while family quietly got pushed off the edge of the pyramid. Today, most of us, let alone Generation Z, never even get past the bottom layers. Housing, money, community, security, it's all unstable. And when your foundation is shaking, you can't climb to the levels where belonging, intimacy, and family even become possible.
Yeah, because your survival is literally just going to get overtaken by food and having shelter. Like, it sucks, yeah.
The system keeps us stuck in survival mode, but gaslights us for not reaching love. Do you ever lie in bed scrolling through people's social media? The engagements, weddings, honeymoons, kids, it feels like you're watching—
Oh, I hated this too. I remember when I finished high school and I was looking at Facebook and stuff, and all these people were talking about, like, oh, I'm going on vacation, and then I'm gonna go to college, and oh, I have a boyfriend, and it would just make me kind of, like, not salty at them, but, like, I felt like it was just felt out of reach to me as, like, a human being, and it bummed me out, and it just made me want to, like, basically just go back to playing WoW and stuff. Yeah, it didn't make me jealous, but it just was like, this feels artificial, if that makes sense. Not that I was mad at those people. Like, if you want to do that with your money, do whatever the fuck you want. It's called jealousy. It wasn't though. Jealousy would imply that like I hate them for it, or I'm indirectly like envious and I'm like, oh grr, I wish I had that. But at the same time, I felt like artificial to me because those people are posting it online when in reality they're probably not as well off as they really are, or they have problems, and it creates this like perpetual thinking of like, oh well, everybody has it really good and they don't really have problems, when in reality that person that's on vacation, they might have like massive student debt loans, maybe their parents don't like them that much. Like, you don't really see that behind the scenes. Does that make sense? Yeah, or put it on the credit card, that stuff.
Real life from behind glass,
everybody has
as
problems
time
that
seems
you
to
don't
disappear
see
from
it.
under you. And it's not just about missing out on dates, it's that we're missing out on the opportunity to build something lasting, something to have outside of ourselves, something to connect us with beauty in the world. Somehow starting a family is considered a luxury for the rich, a luxury for a select few in society who don't have to worry about the housing market. They don't have to worry about the dating crisis. They own several homes. That money and security is attractive to other women. They don't need to worry about schools. They can send their kids to the best private schools anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I mean, the middle class just basically got thrown into the pits, and the rich get richer. Yeah.
And the thing is, this isn't an accident. Decades of decisions driven by corporate greed, short-term profits, and a culture that worships work over family has left us here. Those at the top are allowed to have family. They're able to have more kids. And even then, they're still not having that many. Like in Idiocracy, where you'll get these upper-class people debating whether it's a good idea to even have one child. So how can you expect an undervalued, underpaid worker class to ever be able to have the time, money, or even possibly—
And you can't even say this is doomer shit, because I remember talking to my parents and they came to America and they went to New Zealand when they first like moved, and it was attainable to have like a decent house. The house that I was born into was 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. And that was in New Zealand. And I think my parents bought it in like the 2000s or something. And it had like a tiny little backyard and stuff, like an average home. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm so blessed at that time when I was a kid. Half a bathroom. It's a toilet without a shower. That's a half bathroom. It's just a toilet. Do you guys not know what a fucking half bathroom is? Your parent was a millionaire? No, they weren't. Guys, my parents weren't fucking millionaires. It's that the fucking bank would let them get out a loan. My parents were immigrants from fucking the USSR. Are you kidding me? No. It's that they worked themselves up through the Western dream. They saved up money and the banks actually gave them out loans. Now you can't fucking do that as a Gen Z or a millennial. They've basically sucked that all up. They fuck you over. Half bathroom sounds poor people coded? No, it doesn't. No, it's not. Maybe it was. Did my parents have a bathroom? No, they did. They did. I remember that was the parents. There was a bathroom upstairs, 2 bedrooms for me and my brother, and then downstairs was half a bathroom. It was a toilet. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But like, I'm just saying, like, that was a realistic thing. Like, obviously it wasn't a mansion, it was a really nice house, and I remember living in it, and I was super happy as a kid. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, back then you could get yourself a fucking loan. Now you can't even do the same thing. My parents were not extremely fucking rich by any means. My mom was a teacher and my dad was a, what is it called, like a fucking manager. That's literally all they did. They had both had 2 jobs. My mom was pregnant and basically had her water break while she was working. It wasn't like they weren't working and my mom was staying at home. Like, fucking ask them one day. I'll tell you. It's just like, it's not fair how the world is built now. It's completely fucked and turned upside down.
Of raising a family, especially as more and more governments cut childcare, youth services, community centers, third spaces, police numbers, the list just goes on. But the effect down the line is just a less safe, less connected society that is not replacing itself. Huge populations in the entire Anglosphere are just disappearing over time. And this is where it gets interesting, because if you think about the West 150 years ago, it wasn't like we were even that much richer. So many people struggled, poverty was rife, the poor worked insane hours, but they still had families, often large ones. So what actually changed? Well, religious communities and spaces, shared culture, social traditions and rituals, these safety nets that help people to share life's burdens, moments were just erased.
Yep.
Modernity has completely stripped away all the essentials that make replacing your population just a natural part of human evolution.
And that's why I think, like, when people say, like, oh, don't pay your taxes, I'm like, well, I kind of agree with you, but I also kind of disagree, because when I didn't have a job, someone had to pay for me not having, like, I was on welfare. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think it's all bad. My parents were on welfare when they first landed and had $200 in their pocket and they had nothing. Yeah, like, and again, I don't mind paying as long as it goes into something that I would agree with, but the problem is that half the time it doesn't fucking go where it's supposed to. Either overseas or to people that don't fucking deserve it. I would rather it go to some veteran that fucking got his leg blown off in Iraq. Genuinely, like, it pisses me off so much, and I don't like getting too political, but, like, I wish there was a way where I could support people that fucking deserve it. At least they fucking work, they live here, man.
And I'd say the most infuriating part of this
Say what
fertility
you want, I
collapse
just think
is
it's
when we're just
irritating
supposed to
as
pretend
fuck.
that people's decision to not have children is simply a personal choice, and not one imposed upon us by oppressive social structures. This isn't a problem in Africa or other developing parts of the world, and yet somehow
Exactly.
the rich West can't even replace its population levels. And we can't
Yeah,
just blame
South
the
Korea
rich and
is completely
powerful.
fucked.
Much of the progress we celebrate today is just part of the problem. Because we created a massive middle class, and when you look at who's actually having kids, it's not a straight line from rich to poor. It's a U-shape. The wealthy have kids. Elon Musk has 12 children. Nick Cannon has 12.
What? I
Robert De
didn't know he
Niro
had
just
that
had his
many.
7th at age 79. The working class or
Christ,
populations
man.
in poorer countries have tons of kids too. Africa's population is booming. Often
Yep.
when work prospects are lower and pay is worse, kids become a lifeline. Life priorities put family before career advancement.
Yeah, because you get you get free slave labor. No, like, actually, it's kind of funny. I remember when I had friends in school and they had like 6 siblings or maybe 5 siblings, and I only had 1 sibling. And they would be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go help at my dad's job," and I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, I have a business. It's my turn. I have to go do this thing." And I'm like, "Oh, it's literally like little like children slave labor." That's legal, but like, it's just funny to me. Yeah, take care of the store, sweep the store. Yeah, everybody did this. Yeah, ask anybody in chat. I'm sure.
Because career
Your parents
advancement
probably
really
just
isn't
did
on
that.
the table anyway. There's nothing controversial
the
about
raid.
this. This was always what it used to be like before countries became industrialized and the middle
Mm-hmm.
class blew up. Families had loads of kids first because infant mortality was high, and second
Yeah, that's
because it means more
true.
family income and higher overall chances of survival.
Yeah.
The middle class though, they're getting absolutely crushed. And they're
It's
dying
ditch.
quite literally because of that. First, the middle class is associated with hard work and career aspirations, the self-actualization I talked about earlier. So immediately there's an additional cost, childcare, because most middle class households have dual incomes. No one wants to give up the career society marketed to them all their life. The middle class couple sits at the kitchen table with a spreadsheet. Mortgage, student loans, car payments, health insurance, retirement savings they're already behind on. And then childcare that costs more than their rent. So they wait and wait, they're being sensible, and by the time they feel ready, realize the biological clock
It's over.
never stopped. This is the low fertility trap that threatens everyone. The working poor have kids they can't quite afford. The rich
And
are
I would even argue that most middle class Americans usually have blue collar jobs. If I had to wager a guess, because blue collar trade jobs usually pay decently well compared to, like, you know, poor middle, not middle income, but like low income, where they work at like McDonald's or I don't fucking know, like Walmart and stuff. Yeah.
as many as they want.
You need
but
a
the
house
middle
for a
class,
household
the people
with
who followed
cooks.
all the rules of their
Generally, yeah,
life,
it
maximized
sucks.
their
Or
education,
you're gonna
delayed
rent.
gratification, well, they're getting totally screwed. As you expect and probably know, all of this is causing a hell of a lot more stress, angst, paranoia, and disdain.
Yeah,
It's getting
for sure.
so bad that men are just doing everything possible to thrive in this algorithmic system, to the point of literally breaking their bones to add height to their hinge profile.
Oh my god. Oh Lord, chat, never do this. You can't jump. You can't do any physical activities. The recovery is awful. Don't ever fucking do this to yourself.
Or just smashing their jaw open until it looks worthy of more likes on Instagram.
The clavicular route.
It's why looks maxing is now a thing.
Looks
We're really seeing is that there is like this very,
Yes.
very like deep anger, entitlement. There's like this incel movement there's this like alpha male, beta male kind of thing. And I don't know if you kind of get this, but there's like a deep sense of like anger.
Men today are more overprotected than ever before, but at the same time less able to be themselves or show vulnerability than ever. With constant mixed...
Well, yeah, because if you go out on a date and fucking you do something that's maybe like a little bit tizzed out, you worry about it being the next hit tweet. Did you guys ever see that viral tweet of a guy being sweet to a girl at a coding convention or something? I forget. It was like some viral post, and then the girl posted it and said, "Oh my god, look at this cringe like note that this guy left me." And it was just this innocuous like cute little note that he's like, "Oh, you're cute, let's get coffee." And I'm like, I don't know, man. I totally get it. I would hate to be humiliated like that. I don't know. I know it's like a 1 in a million chance, but still. Letting fear control you is no way to live, though. Yeah, but everything's fucking on. Everybody can just whip out their phone and record you being stupid. Like, back in the day, obviously, like, our parents did retarded shit. We probably did fucking retarded shit, but maybe we didn't get it recorded or posted online. Now, all these kids have these phones that they can whip out and humiliate each other at the drop of a bat. That's what I'm saying, and like it sucks. Like I don't even think it's like, oh, you can't live with yourself in fear. It's more like there's like the opportunity of you getting recorded forever doing something embarrassing or humiliating or doing something like a little bit tizzy. It's way higher than what it used to be. Like I don't even fucking think that's an outrageous thing to do or to think. Who cares? It's the internet. You don't live through what these kids go through in elementary school, for example. Okay, this is a great example. When something really tragic fucking happened, for example, with Charlie Kirk, I remember going out into the neighborhood and I think I was walking my dog. Someone's dad came out to talk to me because I walk through the neighborhood and everybody kind of knows me. And they said, yeah, did you hear about Charlie Kirk? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, my son heard about it before I even did because they whip out their phones, look at Twitter, and it's so easy to access traumatizing things like that. There's more bullying in schools because of the access and exchanging of information between schools. Even if you try and take away their phones, they're still gonna find a way. And they literally just saw a guy getting his head blown off. Like that day, like they're 15, maybe 14 years old, maybe 13. And it's like, they're just talking about it like casually. You think that doesn't like affect you? Like, oh, who cares? It's the internet. That shit overlaps into your real life. It sucks. And I know that was an extreme example, but think about it like someone does something embarrassing, they record it, and that gets circulated throughout their social circle. I even heard about kids getting bullied in group chats. Again, I don't have kids, so like this is just all secondhand. But like people being bullied in my state, in my town, and it actually like got back to me as an adult who doesn't have kids about people just getting bullied relentlessly because the access to information that kids now have is so incomparably larger than what people had like when I was growing up like 10 years ago. It's crazy.
Messages about needing to be confident and
insanely
assertive, but
fast.
also to never make a woman uncomfortable. So when real intimacy feels impossible or dangerous, most people just end up with two obvious escape routes. Adult content, which has now become a type of synthetic intimacy, numbing your core drive in life to Bonnie Blue videos. Or
Wow.
you go the other
jump
extreme
scare.
route, monk mode, with alpha male gurus, where you see influencers taking TRT at just 14 years old to
Yeah,
look
that's
smug.
crazy.
So I was like, I'm gonna get my physique going as quickly as possible. I do not care about side effects. I don't care about any implications of, oh, this guy's using drugs. Like, none of that shit really fazed me.
There's even an influencer.
At least he knew about it. Like, I mean, again, I think the guy's kind of a fucking idiot, but at least he knew. Yeah, because the problem is that these kids just don't know what they're getting themselves into. That didn't age well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can't, like, have babies or something. Yeah, I'm not really into long lifespan. Yeah, there's people that exist like that. They just don't care. They're hedonistic. They live for looks maxing. You think that people like that didn't live in like Roman times where they just didn't give a fuck? They wanted to be as beautiful as possible. How do you think the story and the myth of Narcissus existed? Yeah, I'm sure people like that exist. It's just that it's probably a little bit easier now because you can just become like a Greek Adonis by injecting yourself with steroids and smashing your face with a hammer. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Much by his love of American Psycho, he offers expensive courses to help young vulnerable men ascend. Even the
Syrian
escape routes
Psycho?
offered by these men are roads to
Oh,
nowhere with
American
heavy
Psycho.
price tags
I get it.
attached. But they all clearly indicate that there is a crisis happening. They're symptoms that dating is falling apart. And with more and more endless towns and cities designed around roads for vehicles and the loss of communal spaces that once enabled people to
the
be
watering
naturally,
holes
free
are
time is just
dead.
now dominated by
The water hole is the internet, and that's where I think therein lies the issue. That it becomes also more of a broad thing too. If I think about it, when I was growing up in New Zealand, I didn't give a fuck about what was happening in America. Like, I might like hear news stories here and there, or I might interact with Americans in my video game, but like politics didn't really penetrate that bubble. Now, if you're in a Europe or something, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like growing up now, even though you might not even give a fuck about politics or anything like that, that penetrates way fucking harder than before, like 10 years ago. Because the entire world has to care about everything that's going on everywhere, as opposed to your tiny little town or your state or your country. Like, I know there's states in other countries too. You know? Penetration. You guys are so immature. You guys are goobers.
screens. We need more exaggerated extreme content,
Yeah.
whether it be some
Honeymoon
crazy
phase,
looks
the
smack
internet's
runs,
over?
or
Yeah,
watching
maybe.
1,000 men line up outside. Yet whenever this issue is talked about publicly, it just sounds like a joke. No one ever takes it seriously, no one even thinks
It's desensitized, yeah.
about it.
For
In fact,
sure.
society will just continue to tell us that biology doesn't matter. Sex, status, attachment, presence are all just irrelevant.
That's
We're now
insane.
post-animal, caged in our rooms, playing out life virtually,
I'm
deprived of
raging in my
community, ritual,
Cajun.
movement, and a necessary bit of chaos and unpredictability, the conditions that our species evolved in. So next time you see falling birth rates across the Western world, when you see the population collapse in numbers, you have to realize that this is manifesting itself through these weird behaviors that we're seeing today. And as we continue to struggle to even replace our current populations, the burden will only get heavier for everyone.
Damn. Yep. He's right. What's the solution? Have sex. Chat, what do you say? What do we say? I don't know, bro. Vegas came for you. Vegas is another story, too. That's like the hedonism capital. Yep. Give me a woman. Yeah, government mandated cat girls. That's the solution. And there's not much motivation to have kids when you can't afford shit anyways. Yeah, no, I'm... Fuck, dude. Just resign yourself. I mean, I don't fucking blame you. I don't blame anybody. I mean, again, I respect it more than the women that go online and say, like, oh, I fucking hate men, that's why I don't want to have babies. Like, if you don't have money, that's a different story. Yeah. Alright, go check them out. Yeah. Just want a wife, yeah.